my name is Tryphena. Hi, my name is Tryphena. I talk about Taijia most of the time on TikTok, and I have now expanded to Instagram, YouTube, and I occasionally stream my games on Twitch. All my socials are here. Feel free to follow all my socials. Today, I think we'll take on a little bit of a different take when it comes to Taijia topics, because I think while research-based stuff is really fun, I would also like the space to openly talk about stuff that I think affects me when it comes to Thai GL. And today we'll be talking about just the trends of Thai GL and compared to popularities of really popular shows throughout the entire movie history and series history. Do I think, as someone that sees all these things growing up, do I think Thai jail has potential to live up to all of these expectations? Yeah, that's the topic. I have not decided on this yet because I felt really strongly about this specific topic, but I do want it recorded somewhere in case I get proven wrong or what I said comes true, because I just saw the new Harry Potter trailer. It's a series this time instead of a movie, and it's like I don't know how long this entire book is gonna be. This entire series is gonna be, because the movies were just movies, right? One off, one off, one off. But Harry Potter reached a new level of fame that I don't think anybody could ever expect it. It's to a point where the final movie was marketed with no names, nothing, not even the title of the movie, not even the names of the actresses or actors. It was just the trio, Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and Hermione Granger, on a billboard, a date. So this level kind of fame, again, completely unexpected, but at the same time, completely deserved. But then again, how is it that movies like that can reach to that level of fame, and is it possible for movies now and TV series now to achieve that kind of fame? And off the top of my head, movie series is Harry Potter, the Twilight series, Hunger Games. These were the young adult novels that got adapted into movies, and I wouldn't say I grew up with it because I was in my 20s, but I watched it grow into whatever it was. It gave all these actresses and actors so many different recognitions in their craft, and it propelled their lives in a very different direction. Even High School Musical, that was what I watched growing up, and it grew and blew up into something completely, again, unexpected, because the success of all these movie series was not anticipated. It started out with just, I think, an intention to tell a story, and it became bigger. I think High School Musical was one of them. I think The Descendants were also popular, but maybe I was out of it, right? So I did not really fully see what Descendants became. But I'm pretty sure it did not become what High School Musical was, because the final High School Musical movie was made into an actual film that got into theaters. So you don't see that with Disney shows. And Hannah Montana movie was that, but that was not a series. But again, Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, what else? Nickelodeon shows were okay, but it was not to the point that, the Disney Six, the Jonas Brothers, Selena Lovato, and Miley Cyrus. These six, the faces of in all the magazines. They were in every single magazine issue, every single magazine brand, and again, the hype of it all was because there was only that few shows that was heavily advertised, and that was the focus of that era. Like even Nickelodeon shows, we all know Victorious, we know iCarly, Drake and Josh. These are the faces of Nickelodeon at the time, because there were only so few shows. Now we tie it back to Thai GL. Look at the first year of Thai GL. We have Finn Becky and Lot. We have Lokmi Sonia. We have Ling Orm, Fayoko, and that's it. That was the five. And at the time in 2024, where everything kind of blew up, or maybe earlier even, right? I'm not too sure with the timelines because I there's no research on this. This is just based on off the top of my head. I'm open to discussions, people. So feel free to leave it in the comments on Spotify and YouTube. I just want a discussion on this because as a millennial, I'm 33 this year. I'm turning 33 in 2 months. I just feel very strongly about having so many different shows of different standards come out and have it be defined as Taijia. I have a problem with that because we started out so strong. All of these shows made different waves in the Taijia space. Gap started everything else, right? Blank started like a whole different thing and it opened a whole conversation about age gap relationships. And then you have Affair. Affair on its own, it opened up the conversation of consent. It wasn't that big because it was just a kids, it was like a whole thing. It was just we knew that that was meant to grab audiences, right? But again, it was quickly forgiven. I'm not too sure why. And then you have Englot Show Me Love. That wasn't too bad. But the point of like Englot was not Show Me Love, was their history before that when they were in Miss Grand Thailand. And then you have what's the last one that hold on. You have Ling Orm, Secret of Us. I think if I was not wrong, Secret of Us was one of the first Taijia shows that was in Netflix and it got its fame throughout Southeast Asia because Southeast Asians could access to Secret of Us. I think a lot of American people who wanted to watch it had the first 2 episodes on YouTube and the rest was not on YouTube anymore. So a lot of them didn't see Secret of Us. But I thought it was great. I think these 5 really put Taijia in the spotlight, with Gap being one of the first putting them into international media, and the rest follow suit. And that is what I call sort of the first wave of Taijia. And at the time, it was so fun to indulge in everything Taijia because it was only five pairs of girls. There were the other smaller ones that, does it matter? I don't know. I don't know if it mattered. Like there's Apple My Love, Love Senior. There were smaller Taijia couples, but I wouldn't say that they made a wave because again, I only see what I saw on my For You page. They came up once in a while because again, there was not too many couples then, but they were relevant still. They were still inducted. Is that the right word for it? They were still part of the Taijia groupies, right? But they were just not very big. They were like maybe like B class, B tier Taijia couples. And then now we have so many couples that I feel like we don't have enough time for. It's not because we don't have enough love. It's just realistically, you cannot dedicate the same amount of attention to every single couple. Like for me, I love Freen and Becky, but I equally also love Ling Orm. I love their story. I love Englot. I love Lokmi Sonia. But at the time, like I said, honestly, only Free and Becky had ongoing things. So I naturally gravitated a lot more to Free and Becky, right? But when others, the first 5 had their stuff, I also followed. It was easy. And then you start introducing GMMTV. That was Milk Love Story, but I think Milk Love was 23.5. It didn't get as much hype because it was a high school kind of story. I get it. It's fine. Still love them. The show was still great. But then they didn't get their like adult audience, you know what I mean? They didn't get that attention until, not even Whale Store, until Girl Rules, which is airing now, like 2 to 3 years after the build-up of Taijia. So Milk Love, yes, is part of it, but again, it was not on the same level as Gad, Blank, Affair. It was not that level, so like people forget about it. I'm so sorry, I forgot about them, but I still loved them. And then GMMTV girls came up, four girls came up, and it's not overwhelming yet because they came up at different timings. They came up after the first 5, so you could still deep dive into the interviews, every single aspect of their lives that they share. And for me, right, I watched every single parts that were popular in the Free and Becky fandom. I watched the lore and everything because it was easy. There was only one couple that I focused on with like a little bit tidbits of like the rest. I could have time for the rest if I wanted to, right? And now it's just too many girls. You have Ginny Jana, and now you have the new hardcore couple. I haven't what's her name, and Jessie, and then you have TK Noor, you have Atom Mercedes, so many girls, Jing Jing, so many names that if you didn't see it and you're not in the fandom, it is very difficult to get to know them now because of the amount of girls. While I don't really mind, right? I don't really mind, but at the same time, I wish it was spread out a little bit. I wish that we had some time before it basically grew 10 times whatever it was. Suddenly, WeTV announced last year that 2026 they were gonna have 84 GLs. This is only on WeTV. We have not calculated the ones that are going on iQIYI app. We have not calculated the ones that only get released in their individual apps. We have not counted the ones that are going to be released in YouTube only. Like, there's so many shows now that I genuinely would like to give all of them equal love. But it is so difficult. But also another thing is that the quality of all these stories. It is hours of our lives, right? Hours and hours and hours. At some point, I'm someone that does this full time now. I have to really deeply consume every single one of these shows that I can make time for. And then after a while of consuming mid to low quality shows, you get really exhausted. You don't feel rejuvenated. You don't feel like it's worth it anymore, right? Compared to the first, regardless of Blank and Affair's like controversy, they were still quite good quality. The actresses were still really, really good. The side characters were good. It was believable at best. Chemistry was there. It was not meant to just make money. You know what I mean? And now, similar to how I feel about Netflix shows like a good few years back, when shows started to not make sense and it started to have more political undertones to it, right? I just feel sad that we are so early in the industry and it's going towards that point of view. I want to see what Taijia was initially doing. Basically, when you have like the first batch, let's include the GMMTV shows, right? Because the first batch of GMMTV shows were amazing. They were so good. It made you cry and then smile in the same like scene, and it's just so, it made you heal. Because let's list out, right? Get the series, you have Blank the series, you have Affair, you have Secret of Us. Show Me Love, do you count that? I count Petrichor as Englot's first proper show because it was amazing. Petrichor, top 5 for me. And you have Pluto, Us the series, you have Milk Love with their Well story, and 23.5, different audiences. I think these are the few off the top of my head that I think really made an impression and it defined Taijia. Especially like this is like a personal preference thing, right? Marvelous Dream is You. Such a debatable thing. I don't think it was Fei Mei's best work, I feel, because it had too many episodes. I spoke about this many times. Too many episodes, not enough story. I would take Somewhere Somehow as a good show, right? But that was in the later. It doesn't define Taijia, unfortunately, even though they were one of the first few couples coming up, Fei Mei. I don't know if I'm missing anything, but these are all just off the top of my head, right? All these shows had themes, proper themes, and all these shows had red flag, green flag. It makes you think, it makes you debate. It's amazing that it could make you debate, and it shows how different audiences will have different point of views. It was an amazing time to be in Taijia like industry because everybody could understand the same story with different point of views. Like for example, Us the series, right? When the father kicked her out, I think for not complying with what he wants, right? Kick Rack out. A lot of people, even America, right? One thing is that I use America a lot as an example because to me, they are the furthest away from what Southeast Asian culture is, right? Furthest away because they have very opposite mindsets compared to people who are in Southeast Asia or even Thailand and Malaysia, because I'm from Malaysia, right? So people there, so far away, in African like countries, in like the Middle East, could find a common ground when it comes to all these stories. This is what Taijia was supposed to be about. And I am disappointed that we are going towards just, you can tell, it is just to make money. And also, it was just to make as many as possible, as quickly as possible, get the dime and move on to the next one. It just, I guess I saw it coming. I have to say I saw it coming even before the wave, before Denied Love, and it just made me sad. It made me sad to see this because as someone that loves stories, I could talk about Pluto for so long because Pluto hit a chord with me with the grandma's apology to I for neglecting her because was sick. It addresses a lot of the generational trauma, generational pain that a lot of us feel, especially with daughters, granddaughters, with their maternal guardians, maternal parental figures. And I think like we are losing that slowly because we're aiming to make money. So far, the only show that has impressed me is the Four Elements series. I think it was done amazing. I'm not biased. It is just fact that Four Elements Earth is amazing. Whether or not you think that they have good chemistry or not, that doesn't concern me. But storyline wise, it has every aspect of what Taijio was supposedly like. And I miss it, I have to say. Poisonous Love is under the same company, North Star Entertainment, as Four Elements Earth. But I think also, book wise and time wise, time constraint wise, caused them to kind of to like just be in different spaces that I don't quite understand what they're going for, because the show started out quite stalkerish, middle was alright, the parents were really extreme at the end, and then it just was forgiven. It wasn't consistent, but it's still a well-loved show. I just don't, I could not find out why people would think that it's an amazing show when we have way better shows before. And Hard Code is a good one that I think a lot of people would recommend and have recommended to me. I will be watching it shortly. But it is really emotionally draining because I think I watch it with my entire chest and with my entire heart because I genuinely love stories. And I want to see why they're telling the stories from this point of view and that point of view. And I want to understand the characters, even though some of them don't deserve it, I have to say. But because I throw so much of myself into these stories, it drains me that I realize as I'm telling you guys that the more I watch all these Taijou shows, the more it drains a lot of energy out of me because I'm an introvert, and also because it is overwhelming to give yourself to something for a very long period of time and you have to do it continuously. I think back then when I was just into the original shows, right? It was before Pluto and everything else. After finishing Secret of Us, Blank, all these like the shows I mentioned, right? The next show was Loyal Pin. And I had time to really, they're doing this for the outfits. I had time to really sit there and enjoy them making it. There was nothing distracting me in the middle. I was just eagerly waiting for the next episode, for the next show to come out. I had time to watch all the behind the scenes, all the interviews, to see them like sign the thing with the government. It's just really nice to see every single step. But now it feels like you have to choose a favorite. You can't just love the industry anymore. You can't just love all the girls. You have to choose. And for me, I realize also about myself that if I have too many choices, I just won't pick and I just won't consume anything. That is not very good for me as a Taijia content creator. I miss being able to fully be engaged with whatever that I was watching and be fully immersed in whatever that I was given, because at that time it was good quality, because not a lot of people are trying to do that. We're not trying to beat each other in terms of release dates. We're not trying to fight with shows on certain days because Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are the best ones. There was just not many factors into this. And I just miss being able to enjoy it. Now, because I'm making content off of Taijia, there is an obligation to consume everything because there's so many different fandoms, so many different people that want to hear me talk about their favorite shows. There is simply not enough time. And I don't have that much energy to give myself to every single show. And again, I said it in the last episode, but you are what you consume, right? And I realized, I don't know if empath is the right word for it, but I'm also someone that's really sensitive. I feel very deeply and I become what I feel in a sense. So the last show I watched was My Only Sunshine. And then the show previous that was Harmony Secret. show previous to that was Water. None of these shows are like the happy feel good ones. There's in Earth, no, in Water there was like an ulterior motive behind it. You're like, and you kind of like you're holding on to your chest to like, okay, what's gonna happen next? And then you go on to the next show, which is My Only Sunshine, which is just like a whole thing. I had like episode 2 dedicated entirely to talk about the consent thing, and then the graphic depictions of it all, and if it's needed or not. And then you get like Harmony Secret that ended really weirdly. My mood currently is just in a very weird place. I want to wake up happy, right? I want to wake up feeling good about myself. But I don't think I have that today. But also, because of that, I wanted to make this podcast episode because I feel like I am for sure not the only one that feels like this. I'm a millennial that grew up having different points of my life be pop culture history. So at 18, I remember I was working and I saw Gangnam Style. I watched Gangnam Style before it was 1 million views. I watched it grow. You know how it happened? It happened as organically as just your worker, your colleagues telling you, hey, there's this video. And it was exactly like how people say, look at this video, and it spread. It went wildfire. And it hit 1 billion views, and it was like the biggest song of 2012. That was the era I grew up in that one thing that defined the year, one thing that defined a really, really great and interesting year. And in 2016 was where Pokemon Go was. You have like so many like historical points of pop culture in different parts of the world, right? I feel like we're losing that. And I think as a millennial, I grieve that a lot. Oh, do you not hear that crack in my voice? There's a lot of grief as a millennial. I think that's part of growing up, right? Realizing that you're older. I do believe that as the Thai GL industry grows older, things will evolve. And I think that it is way past what I've experienced, and it's way past what I can predict because of technology. Back then, when technology just started, viral means a million views. Viral means 4 million views, right? Now we're talking about 100,000 million views when it comes to being viral, right? Viral is like the millions of views that you get in a day. So, at some point, I think there's a certain level of surrender when it comes to Thai GL content. So, I have a debate with myself because honestly, I have a scoreboard of all these GL cliches that have ever existed that I determined. Not because it's universal, it's because I just wanted to do a table. And from the looks of it, there is a certain level of pattern. It started off as like a fun thing, but then now I think it is necessary to see what the pattern is in the next wave of stories. I have not decided what I would do with this table yet, but for now it is just still research purposes. But again, the debate is that the research will require me to watch every single show ever existed in Thai GL, or at least shows that I deem a member of the Thai GL industry, right? What if it sucks? Do I continue watching it? What if I don't want to? I guess I have to watch it in times 2 speed. But again, at the same time, these are time of my life that I cannot take back. Is it worth it for the sake of Thai GL? I have not decided yet. I feel like right now, there are certain shows that I'm curious about. Example, My Only Sunshine. Because My Only Sunshine is based on a book. It had inconsistencies with certain story growth, right, in terms of certain story character growth, but I am still interested in the other storylines that's happening. So I allow it and I watch it, but at the same time, I would not recommend it to anyone else. I think I should have a list of all the shows that I would recommend and would not recommend. It would be much easier, I feel. So I will be watching all these shows, a lot of the old shows in repeat, just to make sure that my data is correct. And also, maybe I'll just start a scoreboard. And then we'll run through it every single, every quarter or something. It's just something for me to do. And can you really say that you did your research if you don't watch everything else? I don't think so. You have to really go. If you're a food reviewer, you can't say what is bad until you've tasted the worst, right? So I can't say that I have seen the worst GL until I've seen it. And right now, the worst Thai GL so far, it is I Am Your Moon. People tell me I don't need to watch it, but I feel like for the sake of research, I should. You know what? I should have a scoreboard for each show's rating, you know. But that is a topic for another day. But I wished that Thai GL, the Thai GL industry would slow down a little bit, or at least have better quality shows. I don't mind the volume, but I mind that as the volume increases, the quality decreases, and then the time spent on this show is still the same. If the show quality decreases, it's fine if it's only 20 minutes to 30 minutes per episode. But you're still expecting me to spend at least 55 minutes per episode for it to be 20% empty. Some of these shows do not have anything to contribute after episode 7. Episode 8 is a unnecessary thing, and then the special episode is basically nothing. There's nothing to contribute to that. I think the perfect example would be Poisonous Love's special episode. Completely useless, did not add to anything, it was not necessary to complete the story. The best special episode that I've gotten so far is Denied Love. It had 2 episodes, but it told the story of what happened after they fully, officially got together. They had twins. It was really cute. I haven't seen the second episode yet. I should watch it after this. But this is what I have to say when it comes to the longevity of Thai GL, because at some point, right, if we are moving at the speed that we're moving, the saturation and the decline in quality will cause a lot of these girls and a lot of us fans to slowly back away from the industry. And it will be really sad because it just rose to fame, right? But again, because it is to make money now, the point is to make money, you can tell. Because one sign for me is that the first episode events, final episode events, they only tell you sometimes 2 weeks ahead before the event is due to happen. For Girl Rules, the first episode, GMMTV only told us a week before the event. And I was angry because I was already in Thailand and I didn't know this was happening, and I was leaving on the day of the event. And I calculated the cost. It was not worth the money to extend for another day, to extend my accommodation for another day, and to spend that money. Like it was not worth it. If you told me beforehand, I would have still went, but I didn't need to spend a lot of the extra cost, right? Because I would have adjusted my trip accordingly. I would have just moved it a day back, and then it would still be the same amount of days that I'm in Thailand, right? It was a money grab. Very clearly a money grab. And it's just me. I understand companies have to make money, but personally, if I could see right through your intentions, I don't want to go anymore. I don't like being treated like I'm dumb, especially when I'm very willing to spend money. If only you told me like a month earlier, I would have went still, right? But you told me a week earlier, and we already have our trips planned. And I think I stopped watching Netflix because that's what the films make me feel. That's what the shows made me feel. It was gorgeous, right? A lot of it was so pretty. But then the storyline didn't make sense. And when you go online to check the ratings, it was like a 5 out of 10. But it was so gorgeous. It had all those mountains, the snow. And for what? You know what I mean? So it's the same thing here. But also, guys, remember, I grew into a proper adult watching Carmilla. If you don't know, Carmilla is a web series on YouTube that is free. And it grew into fame on Tumblr because it featured a lesbian vampire and another lesbian reporter that got together. And the whole story, the interesting thing is that, was it high quality? No. It was one camera, one angle, and they told the story with that. And I think it is so interesting that show got the attention that it did, because it was a hit and it was so interesting and it was so original. And I think that they had a lot of quality acting. The chemistry was amazing, even between friends. It was so fun to watch. And I remember waiting for the movie to come out. There was a fan-funded movie, and I bought the rights to that movie. I still have that movie, Carmilla movie. And the actresses were able to do so well for themselves during that period of time. And then it just made me really sad that after that they kind of faded off, and then they did their own thing now. But at the time, it was really nice to see and really nice to be in part of the cream puff fandom, because you're able to have one thing that sustains you, and it's easier to focus on one thing and not be so distracted and still have a life, because it was just one thing, you know? It's like having one hobby instead of now multiple different girls that you have to catch up with, different events. At this point, I think since last year I stopped following events because I simply could not catch up. At this point, every single Taijia girl was invited to Paris Fashion Week. It meant nothing anymore. It is not monumental anymore compared to when Ling Orm went as a couple and Tufin Becky, who went as different brand ambassadors, official brand ambassadors. I'm not saying Frida and Becky is the best. They are the best to me. But at the same time, it was nice when things meant something. And now, I know Taijia has the popularity. The niche is very big. And it generated a lot of income for a lot of different countries, right? Because when they have fan meets in respective places, people go to their places. The economy gets better when they have fan meets, right? But again, I could see that, I don't know, it's just business at this point. So it's not that I lost interest, it's just I am not interested in it anymore in that sense. Still love the story, still have hope that we get good stories, but I think the saturation is slowly making me want to take a step back, because it didn't feel sacred anymore. If initially it felt like, oh my god, this is the one thing that meant something, and now because quality decreases, it feels like they're just plucking people off the street, right? Plucking people off the street, or taking in people with connections, because connections mean a lot in this industry. I realized it's not a bad thing. It's just that as an audience, we are losing that core of what Taijia was. Like I said, the 8 shows, those define what Taijia is. I still love the industry. I still love that they're doing this. But I think the stories are no longer making sense in a way that gives us that. We're just watching it as reality TV. At this point, it is no difference that reality TV. I feel like reality TV will at least make a bit more sense, because it's much more human than a lot of these girls who get put into stories that is meant to just get that few seconds viral. Get put in an edit, the edit gets like 100,000 views and immediately viral, right? So this is just me as someone that intensely watched Taijia over the past year and watch it grow into what it was now. Of course, this is my opinion. This is an opinion piece. It is not necessary for anybody to share my sentiments. I think a lot of people would be great that we're getting a lot of Taijia content right now because of like the positive representation. Girls, do you not see the amount of drugging in this wave of Taijiaos alone? It was already off the top of my head 3. It was My Only Sunshine, Harmony Secret, and apparently Dangerous Queen has it. It's 3. We don't want this kind of stories, right? I want quality. Just because we're given things doesn't mean we have to take the bad ones, right? There are a lot of shows I would not recommend to people. Just because it's 2 girls kissing doesn't mean it's GL. Doesn't mean it's Thai GL. We must have certain standards for this kind of stuff. I don't really just recommend any show to people. I would say if you like this kind of show, this one. If you like that kind of show, that one. And I'm really glad that Heart Cold is going to be in that category of like police stories with Petrico. I really like that Heart Cold is so loved. Even though it was not easily accessible, the episodes. But I hope they get enough money to make more shows to be put on platforms that at least like iQIYI or WeTV. I wish them success. I'm very excited to watch that. People wanted my reactions, so that's why I've been saving it so that I can record my reactions to the series, because they deserve that attention. But I think aside from that, I don't know what else to tell you. I think generally I'm just sad that I could not fully be indulged with each couple anymore because of the lack of time and the amount of information coming up. Last time, right, I grew up in an era where we watched the same day in 5 different point of views when the British YouTubers were popular, right? The same day in 5 to 8 different point of views. I had time for that then. It was really fun. Now, I cannot even stand watching 5 different POVs of the same event but different moments because there is so much. And I felt like with the algorithm of TikTok and Instagram, those fast-paced stuff, right? You watch it, like, oh my god, that's so cute. You scroll and it's something else, and you forget that what you watch. I felt like the short attention span is one of the biggest problems that our world would have, and I think that's why now I gravitate a little bit more to long form content because it makes me calmer. It makes me a lot more like focused. See, you learn things from TaiGL, and maybe I will gravitate towards more long form content because I feel like to contribute to long form content is to one day hope that we are all gonna be these kinds of people that is gonna calm down and think clearly first. Because like fast paced stuff, man, if it's not news, nothing needs to be that fast, honestly. It's for fun, but I also when I'm okay, as I embark on my content creator like journey, right, I realize how much time I waste on TikTok. Not even Instagram, TikTok. The amount of things that I consume but not remember is a huge problem, right? And I think why is it that I remember so many unnecessary information about the High School Musical cast, about Miley Cyrus, about Selena Gomez, all these things because I had time to focus, and that brought enjoyment. The ability to focus brought me so much joy. And now none of these brought me enjoyment because my brain cannot focus and love something fully. I clearly I'm a monogamous person. I cannot love multiple people at once. I would like to love only one and give all my attention to one. Like this is just who I am, right? And this translates into my hobbies, translates into all my loved whatever it is in my life. And I think from now on maybe I could pick and choose shows to fully focus on and just leave the other shows in the background for the sake of watching it, right? Watch it in like a ×2, ×3 speed if it's necessary, just so I can do my research. But also, I think it is not a crime to not like certain shows, right? It's not a crime to not want to watch certain shows, but then we like fast forward it because there are certain points that you can just read. At this point, you don't need to watch everything, you just need to read it off. So this is the episode. It is a very random thing that I wanted to put together because I feel very strongly about it, but I felt that it would not do well on TikTok. Genuinely, I do not feel like it would do well on short form content because this is a whole topic of its own. And I think we as millennials watching all these very important pop culture history happening in real time and being a part of that, I think we would understand what it means to slow down and what it means to be able to love something fully. But that is not all millennials, I know. I know some Gen Zs feel that way. I know there's always a small part of a certain generation that will feel like, you know what, maybe it is a bit too much and we need to slow down. And I belong in that category. And I think I would maybe change my approach a little bit because I think if you realize in the first 2 episodes, I was so stressed about churning out content at a certain speed with a certain thing. It felt like a competition with myself, and I don't know why. And I really wanted to just relax and talk about TaiGL, and that was the first love in the first place. This is the first love. And this is basically all my observations throughout the years. Is it backed up with evidence? Girl, I don't know where to tell you. This is just my experience. Experiencing all this as a millennial in my entire 20s. So right now, there's no conclusion to where TaiGL will go. It is very exciting to see, for sure, because there is no pattern to this. But and the entertainment industry is nevertheless very predictable. I think there will be a peak soon, maybe this year or next year, and then we'll experience a drop. And then suddenly TaiGL would not be as popular, or people would have moved on because we gave it a good, how long has this been? Like since 2023, give it, right? We're entering into the mid to the peak of everything. Give it a few more years, it will slowly fade off. Or it will just be one of those things where people come in and out, and then fans will move on with their lives. And I think it's okay. This is like a phase of life, and it's fine. Because even for me, even for actresses themselves, they will, if they want to get married and have kids, they will get married and have kids. Because all of them are in their 20s. A portion of them entering into their 30s. They will want to have lives. They might not want to be actresses anymore. It would just be a natural cycle, and again, it is okay. And I'm just excited to see what all these girls in their 30s are gonna do. Fai is doing amazing. She's entering into a whole new era of TaiGL by doing her own stuff, doing her own stories. She's in charge of it. I don't know anything about her, so it'd be very exciting to experience her for the first time as an artist, because I missed the whole Hyperblank. I was late, and then they had nothing happening because of the whole lawsuit thing. And then we have Ling Kwang, who is doing amazing, but then I don't know if she's gonna be an actress. I think she will sustain well as a model. You have Eng Fa, who's going into like actual acting, being in different projects. Very nice, very exciting for her. Don't know what's gonna happen. She's also a very smart businesswoman. I don't know what she does. I will learn eventually. Like I said, there's too many, too soon, not enough time for me to dig. And then we have the other girls. There's so much happening. It will be very telling. I think these first batch of girls will be what the Disney Channel kids are. They will be the blueprint, basically. And also, I feel like, as someone that has people older than me grow into adults, and you watch them be adults first, it is very comforting to see them do well, right? Again, the girls in Disney Channel, Miley, especially the three, Miley, Demi, and Selena. Different paths in life, but now they're in their early to sort of mid 30s, and they're doing so well. I feel comforted by it. So I feel like, and I hope that the younger people watching these TaiGL girls will have a bit more hope when they grow up, and then when, they have someone to model after. I think it's the hope that things will turn out okay, because these girls are everything that we want to be as women. Gorgeous, pretty, talented. Because again, this is a topic for another day, but I feel like people project a lot when they look at these girls. And it can be unhealthy, but I think it can be used for a very healthy way. To see yourself in these girls and to want to be like them. There's a lot of pressure on the girls, but at the same time, I feel like they know it. Thank you so much for staying with me for so long. This was a completely unexpected episode, but I wanted to get it off my chest and have a discussion with people that would feel the same, because I feel like it is just a very natural cycle of what the entertainment industry is, and it's also a very natural cycle of what life is. It will be very fun to see what people think, and it will be very fun to see basically if we all can be in the same boat, or we're on a different boat but in the same direction. And if you haven't followed me on any social media, I'm on TikTok, I'm on X, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, and I am also on Spotify. This podcast is on Spotify. And if there's any information that you would like, please let me know and I'll put it in. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel, follow me, like this video, and ring the notification. There's the ring, the bell. Yeah, click on the bell for the notifications. And if you're on Spotify, give me 5 stars. Again, feel free to comment down below what you think. Or do you have another inkling on how TaiGL's gonna be like? At this point, I am going back to my roots and making it about discussion, because I feel like I just missed the community aspect of TaiGL that we first started with. And I want to bring it back. So again, my name is Tryphena. It's really nice to talk with you today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!